Hi guys, it's Claris, and today we are going to do a fairly easy tutorial on how to do how to create little cutout watercolor things like these, which are basically going to be made out of florals, little berries, leaves, things like that. And we're going to then translate this and make our own cute little gift card that we can either give someone on their birthday or a special occasion, or you know what, we could even sort of put it together on some sort of sheet like 8 by 10 and have it framed, because these also work as a very you can get artsy craftsy and kind of make them seem very two-dimensional, or three-dimensional rather. Well, not three, actually more two, because it'll be popping out of the paper. But yeah, so this is what we're going to be doing today in this tutorial. I'm going to try and keep it fairly simple, using some nice bright colors. And so let's get started. To start off, I have my Canson sheet of paper, and I also have a very basic glue stick that I'm going to be using to glue things. And then because I mentioned a card, I do have my, you get these stack of plain cards along with envelopes. And so I just purchased these a while back. And so it comes with like these, what size is it? 4.375 by 5.75 inches, and A2 envelopes. So the sheets come like this, and they're just plain. And so once we have our cute little things painted and cut out, we will be adding them to our card. And this is perfect because my mother's birthday is coming up, and it's the big 6-0. And so I guess I could sort of do this with you guys and show you what I'm creating for her. All right, so for brushes, I am going to be using my number 4 silver black velvet, Princeton number 8, and the silver black velvet in the 8 as well. I also have my mop brush on the side just in case I need to use it. Okay, so first things first, here's how I compose things like this. I'll have one big flower, or the main floral, and then we'll do little side florals, we'll do a little bit of berries, and then some leaves to go with it. Okay, so we'll start off with the big floral, and we want them to be sporadically kind of placed all around. And so and also space is of the issue, or we need to keep that in mind, because we have this much room to work with when it comes to actually pasting it on. So maybe the big flower needs to be this big, a couple of tiny ones, some berries, some leaves, right? So we need to keep that in mind. So, all right, so let's begin. So first things first, I'm gonna do a rose. And for that, I'm going to use my Madder Lake red from St. Petersburg. I'm just gonna get a good amount of red and start off with the center. And you know what? I think it would help if I just draw a very light circle so I can see exactly how much room I have to kind of work this flower. This way I don't go out of the edge or go overboard with it, and then I'm not struggling with space after. Okay, so I got my red here, and I am just going to start with the center where I'm doing my little tiny C comma strokes, making it nice and dark, leaving white space. And then I'm going to take my mop brush, and I'm going to, with just water on it, I'm just going to add some strokes all around while it is still damp, so I can get some nice blending in happening. And using the same brush with not a lot of water on it, I'm just kind of going to go all the way around. I'm going to go back with this brush in and kind of add more to the center. And I'm just adding more strokes to kind of give it more detail. Adding some strokes on the outside where the water is as well. And if you notice where I've added some water, I've also kind of left some white space so that the pink doesn't look like it's saturating all over. And again, I'm just going in with some water and closing things up and adding more of that nice flow to the floral. And a couple of strokes here and there, and I'm just gonna end it and leave it at that. Okay, so we have our rose. And if you wanted to, actually at this point, you can just get a little bit of purple along with the same tip and just add that in the center. And what this does is it gives you a darker center, it gives you a little more dimension to your floral. You're just adding something nicer to it. I like to add dimension, and I like to add extra colors that complement the color that's already there. So I'm just kind of faffing around, trying to make this something nicer that I like. So again, just very lightly, right? So okay, perfect. So I'm just going to leave this as like at this, and we have our main floral ready. Now we're going to go in for the other florals. So because I have a pinky red purple sort of color, I think I'll go for a more purpley color this time. And I'm going to mix some of this Madder Lake red with my violet, which is from, again, St. Petersburg. And I'm mixing that on the side, really. And I'm going to get a nice jewel tone purple color happening. And what I'll do with this color right now is do the side florals, and I'm going to do 3 of them. And they go a little something like this. So I'll paint them around here. Actually, before I do that, I have the purple on here. I'm going to quickly take my number 8, and I'm going to get some of my green. And for the green, I'm using the regular green from St. Petersburg, and I'm going to mix that up with a little bit of the azure blue. And this is going to give me a blue green that is a little more like a dark teal. And I want that just so the colors are nice and bright. And I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that this area is still damp, and I want to create some leaves, very basic looking leaves, nothing too fancy. I'm just adding the darker shade to it right there so that it gives you a nice tone. I'm just going to add one more leaf over here. And adding that tip. There we go. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're doing these is to make sure that you're painting these in a manner that you're able to take the scissors and then do a nice cutting around. This might be a little tougher for me, but it's not impossible. So I'm willing to kind of take that risk and cut that area. I'm just going to go back in with the same brush. I've washed off most of the green, and I'm going to add this right here. Just using water, I'm just creating another leaf, and I'm simply just dragging the color from this leaf into this, and it's ever so faint and light. And once it kind of dries up, you'll see it more. But literally what's going to happen is, yeah, I'm kind of helping it along so that it does go in. And I've added the water, and the color is just kind of going and seeping in that area. So again, it's very light. It's like a hint of color almost. I'm going to do the same thing here too, just to kind of even that out. Maybe even do like a third one in this area. And leave it at that. Okay, so we have our rose with our little leaves. Now we can go back and do the additional little florals. And I'm going to do those over here. Now in proportion to this, I need them to be a little less than half the size of this. So let's create something that looks very basic petals that I'm creating. So this is one petal. And then again, I'm going to use that same method that I used here. So I'm taking a brush with just water on it, and I'm creating another petal almost in the same fashion next to it. And I'm kind of drawing the color again from the petal we already have. And I'm allowing the color to kind of seep in nicely. At this point, you can take in some of the pink if you want. Mix it with that purple, and I'm going to add that on this side, creating another petal. And then I'll do one more, starting from this side here and ending this way. Again, leave a lot of white space in between. These shapes are very, very, very basic and very loose, so that again you can avail of the whole abstract style, and you don't have to get it mighty, not mighty. You don't have to get it super perfect. You're kind of adding your own flair to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make another floral. And this one I'm just gonna do it so it looks like it's sideways. Literally just like that. All right, so then this one's bang on, this one's off to the side, and then we'll create another one. And then that's our 3 little purple flowers. I'm gonna create one more. I'm just mixing more of the purple this time as opposed to the red with the purple. And again, my whole idea is to get more variations of this strand of color. So just gonna mix some of that, and then I'll do the third one over here. And you can have them touch if you want, again, to have the color seeping in and giving you that nice, perfect effect of blending in. Again, just going to leave that at that. And then now I'll do a couple of leaves. And so let's just say if we were to put these on this end, the leaves could be off to the side. So again, taking advantage of the fact that this is still damp, the leaves for this, I'm going to make more of that azure blue color. So again, they don't have to be super realistic. I just want this color palette, so I'm kind of using it. So I've mixed some of the azure blue, which is like a gray, like I think it's like a Payne's gray color. So I'm just going to be creating leaves that are, again, basic in nature, just like that. And you want to push the color down. Creating one more leaf here to get advantage of the damp purple and have it mix with the gray or the blue, giving you that nice blue color. I'm going to take some more of that blue and just add it at the stem area and just at the tip of the leaves, so it's a little more prominent, and kind of swish it around if it's not blending in as well as you hoped. Finally, I'm just going to add one more here. Again, taking advantage of the fact that it is still damp and it is giving me that nice blending effect. And then I'll just probably do one more. One more here. Because again, one of the things that is very important to keep in mind is how much cutting do you want to do, right? So if you don't want to do a lot of cutting, I suggest don't do a lot of leaves, don't make it too intense. But really, if you do, there's no harm. Absolutely create more. I'm just trying to perfect this leaf. I think it's a little too dark. There we go. Leaving it at that. So now once this is dried, we'll go back to it and just add some centers to that. But for now, I think this works fine as is. Yes, so next thing we're doing, we're going to be creating some leaves. So for the leaves, we're going to do, no, actually, let's do um, the little buds, which are kind of like this. So you see the colors kind of look really nice together, right? So for this, I am using my Cobalt Blue, I believe, from St. Petersburg again. And I'm just going to make some of that blue on the side. And I'll probably use a mixture of the ultramarine and cobalt blue to get these. Again, these are super, super, super basic. There's not a lot of detail into them. It's literally just a circle and then you're adding a stem, right? So let's create them over here. So circle. And then I'm just going to take the number 8. Using my number 4 for the adding on, just because they're supposed to be tiny and small. Adding number 8, just using it to add water and complete the circle. And this way I get that nice effect of dark and light. At this point, if you want to also add in some of the azure blue, you absolutely can. Just add it at the center and at the edge, and it kind of seeps in nicely. So that's one way. Then using the number 8 again, I'm going to go ahead and create another circle just with water and kind of touching the edge. And this allows me to get a nice blending effect. It's the same effect that we've been using to get these leaves here, these petals here. I really like that. I just feel like it adds something super romantic and soft to the paintings when you do something like that. So I added some of the azure blue there. I'm going to go back and add some of my cobalt blue on this end, just adding to it. And again, you get this nice blend of blues. So if you're a fan of blue, you should be in heaven now, kind of looking at this or doing these. Okay, so after this, I've just washed the color off my brush, and using the number 4 again, I'm just going to create I'm just going to create a tiny little circle on the top. And again, if it's not flowing, it's making the color flow down as opposed to up, obviously. Just kind of go ahead and force or guide the color to kind of go in. Okay, that's not working right now. Let me just see where I've added the color. There we go. So very roughly added some color, and you can see the color kind of moving in, right? So you want that to kind of move in, swish around, blend in almost. And then you have your nice little 3 buds. You can either attach like a stem to these, or you can leave it as is. I'm just going to add a stem anyways, just because I'm pretty much a stemmy person. So I have some green on this. It's the same green that I mixed previously. And I am going to add one line here. And then another line here. And obviously this is a little too thin. So you can extend the thickness to something a little more realistic so that when you're cutting, it's not super close. Obviously for elements like this, because they're so delicate in nature, I'm not cutting it exactly bang on. And you'll see how once we get to that part of it. I'm just going to add some green looking buds on the side and at the top, and I'm just taking this to the next level by adding that there. Just adding a little bit of greenery to our design here. Adding some green to that. And just, you know I like my dots, so I'm going to create a couple of dots here and there. As well. So use your discretion, obviously, like you don't have to copy me exactly. I'm hoping these videos inspire you to inspire you to create something for yourself. You don't have to copy it, but again, training the mind to kind of figure out what you like, what you don't like. All right, so there we have that. And now finally we can do some leaves. And for these leaves, I think I'm going to go something more along the lines of like a sprig of eucalyptus leaves. And for that, I'm going to mix some of my green with the azure blue, or even the ultramarine blue actually. And I'm going to get like this nice dark teal. This I thought was going to be a dark teal, but clearly it's more of a green, so I didn't mix a whole lot of dark teal, so that's fine. For these, you could even make them gray. It works, I think. So I'm going to use my number 8 Princeton, and I'm going to keep my number 4 on standby. So number 8 Princeton has my green teal color on it, and I'm just going to create like a sprig here. Yeah, let's just do a sprig over here. And I'm making sure that there's nice amount of color on there. And then I'm doing do these little curvy elements, leaving some white space, pushing the color to the center. In between, I'm going to take my number 4 and add some elements to with just water on it. And adding some color to the center again of the stem. And clearly it's not blending as perfectly as I thought, but we're cheating our way through it, so that's okay. And it's still not damp here, so that's fine. Let's just use this brush and kind of carry on. We're pushing all the color to the center of the stem, and the leaves get slightly bigger in diameter as you go down. Feel free to leave the white space. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try dampening this area down here and then create my leaves, and then let's see if it actually works. Sort of, kind of worked. Maybe I didn't have enough water. It's all about the water consistency, water to color ratio consistency. So you gotta keep on trying and working around that. If you caught my eucalyptus tutorial, I talk about these things in that one as well. So yeah. Oh, and actually speaking of my eucalyptus tutorial, I remember adding some pink to it. So maybe we can just add some nice pink or quinacridone rose from the Daniel Smith into it, just little hints of it. Maybe adding a couple of dots here and there. Again, this is not realistic at all. It's just something that I'm trying out and experimenting as I go along here in this tutorial with you guys. So, trying something new. It's kind of pretty. I like it. So I'm going to leave it at that, and then just extending this a little bit more so I have more room to cut. And then I'm just going to darken the center more, and then add a couple of dots to complement the pink ones that I have. I might not cut around this one, we'll see. All right, so that's that. I'll just do one more sprig and then I think we are good to go. And again, just kind of mixing my color on this side before I can come back and do it here. All right, so I'll do one more sprig over here. And this one I'll do straight and extra simple. So just adding the top and just light, easy, simple shapes that are like oval in nature, pushing the color to the center, leaving some white space in between if you can. Make this bigger just so I can cut it easier. And you can see there's like a color difference here, and that's fine. I like it. So just making this slightly thicker to come down. There we go. Leaving it at that. And then to finish off, I'm just going to do some green mixed with my umber, which you guys know I love. And I'm going to create just a couple of regular leaves, and this is just in case I need it. I might not end up needing it, but in case I want to add a little bit of extra greenery, I have these. So for these leaves, I'm just doing our basic leaves that we do. Pressing down, and then trailing off. And then you have a nice leaf. Okay, and then I'll do another one, dipping my brush in water and then going back for more color. I'm just gonna do the same exact thing I did up there, pressing down, trailing off, dipping in water, coming back, pressing down, trailing off. And then just adding a nice line in the center. And then I like that whole dark to light business that's happening. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And you can push the color back down as well and just kind of let it be. Yeah, so that's that. I'm actually gonna go and do one more sign. There we go, better. So we have the two leaves, we have leaves there, we have some of this, we have some of that. I think we have a little bit of everything. I think we're good to go. I just want to finish the centers of these, and then we can then translate into cutting. So for this center, I'm just going to go and take some of the purple, which I think is dark enough. So I'm getting it on my number 4, and I'm just going to go to the center here and add a couple of lines. Just like that, all the way around. And then just maybe a couple of dots. Then same thing here, just adding a couple of lines, trailing off, and then finally adding a couple of lines on this side here, and just like a couple of dots. Yeah, add a couple of dots as well, why not? Over here too. All right, and yeah, and then that's it. Now you can choose to take it one step further and even like add some detail to the leaves if you want. So for instance, using the same color, I'm just going to add a quick stem or vein in between, whatever you call it. And just add something like that. Right, like you can leave some leaves, leave some of the leaves without adding anything to the center. And and that would totally work as well. Because again, we're not trying to achieve anything that's perfection, just something that's pretty and that we can call our own. Okay, so this is how it's turned out. Now we're gonna do some cutting. So I'm gonna fast forward for the cutting just so you're not sitting there watching me cut. So here we go. All right, so this is what we've come up with after we have done all this cutting. And I'm just going to move all of this off the frame so you don't see that and you can just see this. So this is what we've ended up with. And next thing we're going to be doing is just going ahead to add all of this onto this sheet. Okay, so gonna glue it. I'm just gonna figure out, yeah, this is how it folds in. And now we can start the gluing. So I have my basic glue. And first things first, we will add, let's add the rose. Let's do it this way. Yes, I'm just gonna add some glue just in the center. I don't want to glue the whole thing down because I still want the edges to sort of pop up. And then that gives it that nice look, I guess. Okay, yeah, we want these leaves upward. So if I just put that there, I'm just realizing what I should have done was figure out where placement is before putting the glue on. So yeah, if we do this upward, then I can add this here. That's not bad, yep. Let's add these leaves here, and I can add these here, kind of overlapping. And then we'll do this guy here. This guy here. Possibly, this is a fun part, right? It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle, but like, it's like arranging flowers, except these are not real flowers. They're flowers you've made. Yeah, we're doing a floral arrangement. That's what we're doing. So I'm just trying to figure out, in fact, we might not even need this extra guy, but I kind of like him. Yeah, I think I will add it at the bottom, to the side. My gosh, there's so many choices. Okay, you know what? Let's just do this first. So adding this guy in. Just gonna make sure there's enough glue. And I'm gonna add him in here. Before I stick him on, I just want to make sure I erase any extra pencil marks, because once I stick it on top of this, it will not be possible. So now that that's erased, I'm just going to go ahead and add these in. Off to the side. This, you know what? It might be nice to add this guy there. So let me put this guy in here first. I'm sliding him under the rose. So we have it like that. So you see how the layers kind of really add something nice to it. Yes, so with these, yeah, you could almost add this one there, but no, we said we'll do these guys here, right? Or should we do them there? No. I like this break in color here. So then you have like blue, green, purple, pink. So let's do that. So placement is also important in the sense you want the colors, like you don't want all pink on one side and then green on the other. You want to give it a nice mixture of colors kind of peeking out here and there. So if my blue is there, then obviously my teal can go here. Or this guy can go there. Or even just kind of like peeking out from here or here. Or maybe just even poking out there, but then that doesn't quite work. Yeah, so I'll put this guy here up to the top. Yeah, let me add some glue first. And I will add this over there. Perfect. Yeah, this one can almost be kind of peeking out this way. And then we're done. Okay, yeah, I've decided I'm gonna put them together side by side. And then we are done. So yeah, so this is the whole tutorial on how you can do your own little cutout shapes and create like a nice 2D card. So this is how it's turned out. I think it's nice and pretty. I just want to bring your attention to one thing before we wrap up. Do you see how my cutting isn't perfect? But I just make sure that there's enough white space around, almost like an outline, and that's what really emphasizes and makes these look really pretty. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought. For those of you who are looking for things like this where you have plain cards and then the envelopes come with it, I have listed some links in the description below for Amazon, USA, and Canada. So feel free to click on those and purchase through that. Or I'm pretty sure you can get them at Michael's or any of the stores as well. So check that out. And yeah, please do share this video on social media if you found this helpful, if you like it. Let me know via images through DMs, like direct messages on social media, which is Facebook and Instagram, how yours turned out. I love getting images from you guys and seeing how you work alongside with me. So thanks again for your support, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for all your love. And we will chat soon. Bye.